spring break. It's been a great 2 weeks. We found out that CNN Money says that it's a great time to buy. They ranked Atlanta as the #1 place to buy as far as value. Big comparison they used was rent versus own. So it's much cheaper to actually own a house than to rent. So that was great news. PBS rated Fayette County the healthiest county in Georgia. So that's great news. Unemployment numbers last Friday came down lower, and we all know that unemployment is really what's going to bring us out of that. So as that unemployment number drops, as people find jobs and get comfortable in their jobs, then we're going to see people buying houses. So big thing, we did not make the list of Forbes still declining markets. So that's a great list not to be on. All right. Rates today, 30-year fixed rates are at 4.875. 7/1 ARM is making a play now. It's at 3.875. So a whole point difference right now in the 30-year fixed and the ARM. What's going on this weekend? It is Masters weekend. So put on your green jacket and sit back in that chair and enjoy the golf. Beautiful weekend for a little barbecue and Masters weekend. We've also got the Braves are home. The Braves are in town this weekend. Reminders, 4/21 is the WCR golf tournament at Planterra. So the April 21st. So get signed up for that. We've also got 4/27. What's happening that day? Let me think. Maxwell Monsour will be making his first appearance. So look up for updates on that. Reminder on FHA. FHA 4/18, April 18th. FHA is increasing their annual PMI. So it's going to go up 0.10%. So, if you got anybody that's right there about to write a contract, make sure they get locked in. Make sure you get them under contract, this next week. All right, let's talk about the government shutdown, the pending shutdown at midnight tonight. Potentially what we could see happen, it could affect us in real estate, FHA loans. If we can't get government insurance, which is one of the things that would cease, then we could not do FHA loans temporarily. The other thing is the 4506 tax return request. Might not be familiar with this, but we basically pull a transcript of everyone's taxes just to verify that they're telling the truth on what they actually give us. And without being able to do that, then we would not be able to approve the loan and get it closed. So that does happen on the front end of the loan, so it really shouldn't be an issue. All right, let's talk about the Dodd-Frank Act. It is now in effect. It applies to many things other than mortgages. So it's not just specific to the mortgage business, but what I want to talk about is just mortgage compensation, loan officer compensation, because some of you heard a little bit about that, and how obviously it can affect sales and realtors, etc. Basically, what the government has done is they've leveled the playing field. Basically, everyone is charging basically the same cost per borrower. So for SunTrust, for a customer, I have to charge the exact same rate for any individual that meets the same profile. So if you've got a 720 credit score, 20% down, etc., they all have to have the same rate. Where before we had discretionary pricing, where if it was competitive and someone else was shopping for a deal, I could lower my rate to try to get that business, and you could make it up on a different loan. So now that's all gone away. The fear is that competition is going to be alleviated. So the banks are going to have the most control. Then they figure that the banks are going to increase the rates to cover some of the cost of making the changes, as well as just because with lack of competition you see an increase in rates. The other thing that's going to get rid of a lot of your smaller mortgage companies or mortgage brokers is the 5% holdback. Lenders now, if they originate $1 million worth of business in a loan, they have to keep 5% of that. They have to have an asset. So you can see as that adds up, over months and years of how many loans they have outstanding, they have to keep skin in the game, if you will. They have to keep that 5%. And so really only your big players are going to be able to have the assets to be able to stay in the business. So it's another challenge, and competition is really the biggest thing that they're worried about. As competition goes away, then you see prices increase, and that eventually hurts the consumers. As well is if there's less loan options out there, less people offering loans, that means there's less buyers. Less buyers means prices drop. So just trying to keep you updated. That's all I got. If you're working this weekend, so am I.